how can we allow love in our lives? How can we allow to have relationships, situations, things that happen in our life, people we meet, situations we encounter? How can we allow all that to love fiercely without attachment, pure free love? How can we allow that without regretting anything later, without thinking, I wish the moment would have passed longer, or I've done something wrong, or I'm sad that it's over? How can we go really deeply into these situations and feelings without losing ourselves in it and going back into negative ego patterns of loss and rejection and all this? How can we keep our heart open even if it hurts? That was inspired, this video, because I'm in Colombia and I was traveling 1 month in Colombia. Just in the end of the trip, like towards the end, I had some situations that completely blew my mind, and the magic and the beauty of it was just absolutely incredible. But then also I learned a lesson, and that is so funny because it did not come from a human, it came from a few dogs. And it was a really painful lesson, but I felt such a deep love and flow and bliss. It was a really intense few days, and I lost energy and I kind of lacked sleep. Sometimes you couldn't really find something healthy to eat on the island, so you're kind of a bit in struggle and you have to buy some unhealthy food. And then retrospectively, probably there came a point when the situation was so beautiful. I was not really aware. I was not really in the moment. I was, I think, on the phone doing something on booking because I needed to book something. And the dogs were there. And the story is a bit longer. I can maybe tell the dog story another time. But what I felt, this deep belonging, flow with the absolute beauty of the moment and being completely free. And the dogs were there, and they visited me many times in these days. So there was kind of like a really deep connection going on. And I don't know, I was just completely overwhelmed of love and appreciation and gratitude. It kept on going like this for a few days. I met a Colombian guy. We had a really nice conversation about biology and the island and all that. Really cool. On my last day, I wanted to get up early, and the dog was there, and I wanted to get up early to see the sunset. But I didn't do it because I was too tired. And when I woke up again, the dog was gone. During the next hours, a really increasing frustration and sadness overcame me. I was like, whoa, what's going on? And then I realized it was not so much that the dog was gone. It was more that in this moment, I did not decide actually what my heart wanted to do. I decided for comfort and staying in bed. And then later I was like, oh my God, I didn't see the preciousness of the moment. I could have spent some few hours with the dog on the beach. Yeah, but I didn't do it. And this created such like pain and this regret, and like you know, the stuff is running through your fingers and you don't grab it, and then you kind of like get the chance. Sorry, there's something going on here. When you get the chance to live it, to truly live it and be in it, in the situation, and live it to the fullest, you kind of hold back because you're like tired, or you want to eat, or like other stuff you're in your head, you're kind of analyzing or whatever. And then you miss the moment. And you wake up after and you're like, oh my God, I have missed the precious moment. And this feeling of regret is what is actually so painful. That is what I realize, is that when you live a moment completely to the fullest, you completely let it flow through you. Even if you feel like love or kind of sadness or like intense emotions that are somehow overwhelming, you still let it flow, and you also don't want to hold it. For example, many people that they just take videos with their phones and they're not really in the moment because they're like, oh, I have to record it to watch it later or whatever. So if you just be there fully present with all your five senses, and also a good technique is that really focus on all your five senses. What is all the stuff that you can perceive? So the more senses you can put in your memory, the more vividly you can remember a situation. So that's really cool to do. If you're like, oh my god, I have to remember this, I have to remember this, and in this way you can live without regret because you know you have lived it to the fullest. There was nothing more that you can like really embrace and inhale in that moment. And also another important thing is always ask yourself in every situation that is so precious, have I give did I give everything that I could give? Is something that I could contribute to the situation, is something that I could give? Because our soul wants to give. Ultimately it does not want to take, it just wants to give. So that is even more beautiful and more precious when you think, okay, what can I give? And then later, in the situations, and let's say you're standing before a decision. So should I, for example, let's I stay on the beach or I go to have food? You can decide, but what is important in this moment? What part of this moment will never come back? I was like, okay, if I always gonna ask myself this question, what is now important? What is the one thing that doesn't come back in the situation? So how do you want to decide? I'm like, okay, I gotta. If I always ask myself these questions, then for sure I will make the right decision and like not have these few situations where I'm now thinking like, oh my god, I didn't see that this was the moment to really appreciate the moment even more regarding the dogs. Yeah, it was really painful because I did not see them afterwards anymore. So I couldn't even say goodbye. We had like this like 3 days bond and were going hiking together in the darkness and stuff. And I gave them water and food. Ah, this hit me hard. Like this hit me hard. I was crying. I was like, no, it cannot be. Then to also immediately forgive myself to like, I have not seen it in this moment. I was on my phone on Booking, where else I could be beside the dog and like pet his head and really enjoy the connection. I was on Booking on the phone. I realized again how important it is to not let these precious moments pass because we think they will come back or they will stay, because maybe they will not, you know. And then one day you will wake up and you're like, oh my god, so many missed moments. And this feeling of regret, guys, this is so painful. And we have to take that feeling as a teacher to see, okay, this is not good, this is painful. So let's just like enjoy everything that comes our way, even if it's painful a little bit, and think about the deeper message behind it. So because I knew, even though I had the feeling I messed up to not really fully take the opportunities with the dogs as I could have, that for me was in a way like triggering guilt and shame. I haven't done it right, I didn't see it. It was definitely a feeling of shame that gets triggered. And I knew that basically everything that happens to us is always what needs to happen to us. So I was thinking, okay, what is that teaching me? And because I knew if the universe or God wants me to spend more time with the dogs, then they would cross my path again, but they didn't. So they left me with my regret and pain. I was like, oh. But it was important that it happened like this, because otherwise I couldn't have get the message about that we really need to be aware in every situation and think, okay, what is important now? Because we lose ourselves in our heads and thinking always ahead, or like have some picture in our mind how it should look, or then we taking photos. It also brings us out of the moment. I took some photos of the dogs in this situation, but now retrospectively I'm like, I should have put the phone to the side and just sit myself next to the dogs and cuddle with them. Oh, guys. And they were like the most lovely dogs. You have no idea. So beautiful, so kind, and always watching after me. And I was just, oh my God, my heart was getting so like this burning feeling, this feeling of, oh my God, like when you love something, just because it is there, without any condition or something. It's just you love the dog beyond words. And then go through this kind of guilt and regret, but then still see the deeper teaching in it, and then realize the dogs were there to teach me that, what makes me love them even more. And I'm like, this is insane. But from my side, I really hope I can remember these moments when I'm like, also last night I met this stranger. He was from Peru, and we're having a little talk. Sometimes it's a bit hard because I don't speak Spanish perfectly, so the conversations are sometimes, yeah, I don't know. Kind of, maybe we communicate 30% or something, because they doesn't speak English, don't speak English, I don't speak Spanish. But then I don't know. He had this tattoo on his arm. It was something with ayahuasca, and I was like, okay, let's hold on for a second. Yeah. Also, I put some cards in my wallet with little notes. For example, "You are loved," or like a psalm from the Bible. And this sometimes I give to strangers in kind of certain moments. This also gives me the feeling of I have lived the moment to the fullest, like whatever came my way, or maybe I'm getting frustrated in one moment, or the things with giving money to people, or you have a little encounter buying a mango, whatever. All these little moments are there for a purpose, and nothing is random. So when you, in every situation, just completely take it in without judgment, reflect on yourself. Did I give everything that I could give as a human being? It's not like we have to give. We're not giving so we can get something in return, because that is like selfish again. But we give because we want to give. We want to give something that we have to the other person, because everybody can need something in this crazy world. It may be a smile, or I don't know, you give some tip, or you help somebody, or you just, I don't know, a compliment, things like that. Something we can give. We can always maybe give some little thing. And in that way, I think we can go through life without having regrets, and always be completely aligned with us. And also, when we realize we messed up, like I feel I realized, like I messed up with the dogs. I could have done more and just be aware and present more. So if we always reflect on that, we can just live completely in peace with ourselves. And we will mess up. We will get into situations where we get to think after, like, what the hell? what did I what did I think? But when you make every decision in the moment with your intuition, like, okay, what would my highest self do? What would love do? What would love decide now? And you always feel the difference between what would fear do or what would love do. And you, even if it's even if it gets you out of your comfort zone, go into the direction of what would love do. For our mind, it doesn't make sense. That's intuition, it's guiding us. When we allow that to happen, and not blocking it by making the decisions with our mind, like for me, for example, in this one moment when I decided to have food instead of going with the dog. Awareness is the key in every moment. When you're not aware of what's happening, of course you cannot make a conscious decision, but this is the key. Like, you have to be aware and, okay, what's happening? What is happening? Am I being angry because some old little child wound is triggered, or is the other person maybe just not on my vibe and I don't like the situation? But what is going on? You feel some conflict or some friction and unease, but instead of indulging in compensation strategies, it's better to look at what is going on, what is happening. So yeah, in that way I found my peace. Kind of. No, I'm still a bit sad. It's still not over. Also, I was praying and meditating and speaking to the dogs. That helped. Talking to God about it. Yeah, I found my peace with it. I'm really grateful for these days I had on this island with this like just amazing scenery and the people and the dogs. It was really amazing. So I took it all in. I also didn't write journal in these days because I just like I cannot, I don't want to let it through my head. I don't want to analyze it. I don't want to put it into words yet because I can't. It was so beautiful. It's like, okay, I just took some photos in some moments so I can later kind of get it back to write it down because it was so much happening. Colombia is crazy, intense, 1,000 things happening at the same time in any moment, and it's like, whew. And it's so funny that this days just happened at the end of the trip, and it was an intense trip. And I'm so grateful. And I didn't even tell you about the fluorescent plankton. I mean, this is Avatar 100%. Even better because it's real life. So you kind of experiencing an Avatar world with this fluorescent plankton in this mangrove forest next to the sea on this island. And the light in the dark water, it just completely blew my mind. But it's another story. But this just to show you how magical and pure, divine these moments were, and I couldn't even believe it. The sunsets. The one morning I had with one dog, watching the sunrise, we went swimming, and we went swimming together in this like Caribbean water. I was like, this is absurd. This gave me a big important lesson about regret, and I wanted to share these thoughts with you because I think we're all in the same boat in that, wanting to love and enjoy the beauty of the moments without fear, without holding ourselves back, and without regrets, because nobody likes regrets. No. Don't want to have regrets. And there's this saying, you will not regret the things that you have done, but you will regret to not have done the things that you could have done, or something like that. For me, that's true. Like, regrets, I don't like it. So rather I do it, and then, yeah, some shit happens, but so yeah, my dears, I hope I could inspire you a bit from this air in Cartagena that flows through my lungs. I wish you have a nice time, whatever you do, wherever you are. Let me know in the comments, as always, what comes up for you. Maybe you have a little story of regret. Maybe also if you have forgiven yourself, or if you're still like beating yourself up about it, like, no. So let me know, my dears, and I wish you a beautiful day, and see you the next time. Much love. Bye bye.